Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and this video here today is kind of a tutorial or at least a review, helpful little guide for people that are either returning to the game or new players that have access to a free deck. That's right, if you haven't played Hearthstone in 120 days and you've never played in one of these before, or you're just a brand new player wanting to try out Hearthstone, it's the first time ever with the new expansion, you want to try it out. When you play and you get through, I believe you have to get through the new player ranks, which you can actually skip if you want and go through the tutorial, you will have access to a free deck. And there's a free deck for every single class. And in these decks, they contain cards from the Year of the Griffin and the core set. So nothing from the latest expansion. However, it contains cards from the last 3 expansions. So that would be Forged in the Barrens, Fractured in Alterac Valley, as well as United in Stormwind. And there's also some core set cards in the mix. If you happen to own a card that's already in that deck, you will actually receive Arcane Dust, so you don't get basically screwed. If you have the card, at least you get the dust equivalent. And by the way, shout out to Out of Cards. This is their article. I'm using their article with all the deck lists and basically the information. I'll link it below, and that's where you can grab these deck lists if you want yourself. So Demon Hunter, we have a Field of Strife deck. It's more of like a token aggro style based deck with the legendary minions in this one being Kurtrus Demon Render, the hero card, very good card for Demon Hunter. As well as the legendary minion Kurtrus Ash Fallen, not particularly powerful, so you have 2 legendaries in the deck, as well as you have the epics of Urzul Giant and Fell Gorger. Basically, this deck's trying to fight for board, push some aggression. This deck probably will not be very successful on ladder these days, not the most powerful, but if you're looking to play a bit of Demon Hunter, getting Kurtrus in there is pretty good. But overall, a lot of these cards aren't too hard to come by. Some of the better ones being like Battlegrounds Vanguard, which is a common, or Battle Theme, which is just in the core set. So if you're looking for like an aggressive board-based deck, I probably wouldn't recommend the Demon Hunter one. Next, we have Druid, which is like a beast aggro Druid, which has been a very popular archetype, at least before the expansion. And we have a couple epics in here, like Frost Saber Matriarch, very good card. Oracle of Elune, which sees play currently in the most popular deck in the game in Ramp Druid, as well as Composting, which is just an incredible card draw engine for any aggro deck in standard or wild. You also have the legendary minion of Wing Commander Mulverick, not an exceptional one, as well as Cornelius Rome, also not the best legendary out there. However, if you are looking for a good aggro deck that can help you climb quickly and also just learn the fundamentals of Hearthstone, Mulverick's Fleet, this deck is really solid. It's a very, very solid start to get into Hearthstone, to play the deck out. You can have some real success with one. It's a pretty good deck. The Hunter deck is Take the Valley, which is a secret-based deck that has a big beast package. Very fun looking deck. You have the legendary minions in here in Wing Commander Ikman, King Crush already in the core set, but as well as the hero card of Beast Stalker Tavish. Very powerful, could be used in multiple Hunter decks. Face Hunter, Quest Hunter runs it. Very solid card, as well as this whole secret package, which has Epic in there in Ice Trap, as well as Spring the Trap being epic cards that are all playable. This is another very solid deck, board based. It's a lot of fun deck to try and cheat out your beast with the Stormpike Battle Ram. And if you happen to open like the Colossal Legendary in the latest expansion, it'll slot pretty well into this deck. It's very cool, more mid-range. It's definitely not one that's going to dominate the ladder, but it's certainly one you could definitely consider to pick if you like a mid-range big beast style package. Definitely a really fun deck. The Mage deck is like a big spell mage deck, which has legendary minions such as Caligos, which is a core set minion. You'll get it for free as well as the hero card, Magister Dawngrass. Pretty good, powerful hero card. Not seeing a ton of play these days, but definitely solid. And Belinda Stonehearth, who is a legendary minion as well that swaps the spells with minions. And it's actually being used in current top tier Mech Mage deck as like a scam package. So she could see some play. You don't get the diamond version, by the way. This is kind of whale stuff, but yes, solid deck, not amazing, but I think you could have a lot of fun with it. You get some legendaries, you get an epic in here, 1 copy of Mass Polymorph, 2 copies of Rune of the Archmage, as well as 2 copies of Clumsy Courier. So you're getting a lot of epics, you're getting quite a few legendaries, and the deck's pretty fun. Will you win a lot of games with this? I don't think so. I think you're gonna have a bad time trying to win games competitively, or also trying to learn Hearthstone, period. But the deck looks pretty fun and definitely has at least some good dust value to it. Next, we have the Paladin deck called the Immovable Object, which has Probably the best dust value, I think, of the entire free decks, with only Warlock having more. But this deck looks actually very, very legitimate. You have Localar in here, legendary minion, Ragnaros, another legendary, and Cariol Rome, Lightforged Cariol, one of the best hero cards in Hearthstone. She's incredibly good in standard, wild, duels, any mode. This deck is worth it almost for her alone because she is so good, as well as Cariol Rome, the legendary minion, which is also a very solid card. Get a couple epics in here in Brasswing. It's like a big Paladin. You're trying to cheat out your big minions with your Cavalry Horn, but the core card base in here is very solid to just get any Paladin deck. I don't know how successful this will be on ladder. Big Paladin, not particularly great, but the fact you just get Cariol makes this a standout to me. It's a very solid pick if you want to go for a big deck, especially with an incredibly good hero card. Next we have Priest, which is in a pretty rough spot these days, but we've got some legendary minions in here. You have Zarella, the Devout, another hero card. A lot of hero cards in these. Listen, if you can't go wrong with a hero card, they are just so powerful in today's Hearthstone game. You have the other Zarella, the minion, great board clear, fantastic card. And Korak, the Blood Rager, not phenomenal, not a meta card, meta defining card right now, but you also have in here an epic in Condemn. And this deck is all about death rattles, bringing them back or getting their effect back with Zarella, drawing through your deck. And yeah, this deck not amazingly successful on ladder, but it's a good foundation. This would be a great start if you really enjoy the Priest game style. If you want to pick Priest, this is definitely a solid way to go. But again, you're not going to be winning a ton of games, I think, with this, and it's going to be very slow games. This is a slow deck, so if you're looking for some faster games or medium length games, this is not the deck you're going to want to go with. We have Identity Thief. This is a Burgle Rogue deck for Rogue, so a lot more fun, a fun deck for Rogue. And you have Tess Greymane, which is part of the core set, but you get the hero card, Shadowcrafter Scabs, which was nerfed from 7 to 8, still a very viable and good card. You get Karathine Fleet Runner, the newest Burgle legendary added to the game, as well as Vanessa Van Cleef, another core set card, and Maester of the Masquerade. So you're getting in this deck 5 different legendaries. However, I will note Burgle Rogue, not particularly powerful on ladder, but it's good enough and you will have a lot of fun with this. This deck generates a lot of random cards, whether it be through a Parlay, a Swashbuckler, a Reconnaissance. Double Agent kind of gets the effect. It gets it doubling up when you have a random card in hand from another class. Tooth of Nefarian, Hinge Clan Burglar, all seal cards. So this deck's really fun. You get to burgle some cards and you get a lot of good dust value, or at least a lot of good value in your cards, and also just start your Rogue collection. So if you like a kind of crazy randomish games with a mid-range style of feel, Thief Rogue, definitely a really good pick. Shaman has Frostbites, which is like a free Shaman deck, which has multiple legendaries here in Brukan of the Elements, another hero card for Shaman, incredibly good. Basically goes into every Shaman deck you would want to play. Very solid. Just for that alone, this deck's almost worth it. You get Baron Glacier. It's this freeze package. Not particularly powerful in the ladder right now, but at the early ranks, you'll probably have some success with it. However, you get Snowfall Guardian, one of the best, most disgusting cards in all of Hearthstone right now, freezing the entire board, getting a big body, and you can repeat that with the Brilliant Macaw. Very powerful, meta-defining thing. I mean, this deck doesn't even need to be built that well. You have these parts in there, you're going to have success and win games. You have the whole free stuff in here. You have epics in like Snowball Fight, Farsight, which is part of the core set, and you're just looking at a very good deck. If you pick this one, you will have success on ladder. I'm confident of that, and you get some really good cards that you can put into your core collection going forward over the next year. Warlock, the most expensive deck of all the bunch in terms of like dust, if you would want to craft it, has legendary minions such as Localar the Ice Lord. You have Lord Jaraxxus, you have Dreadlick Tamsin, which is the hero card, incredibly good, sees place in the standard and wild formats, as well as Antheron, a demon you can cheat out if your hand's full. It costs 1 mana, and Tamsin and Rome, which is another meta-defining card in wild, as well as a good card in standard. These are all incredible. You get a 1 copy of Entitled Customer, which is also an epic card, Twisting Nether, which is part of the core set, but this deck's not doing particularly well on ladder. This deck kind of lacks a good win condition. However, the core part of this, you really want to play Warlock, you want to get a control Warlock collection going, this is a great starting point. It's a very slow deck. This is not a very good deck on the ladder. However, the key key cards in this deck are very good, and you could possibly put that towards a better Warlock deck in the future. And lastly, we have the Warrior deck for the Horde. This looks like a control variant of a deck that has a couple of legendaries in here. In Rarran, the Valorous hero card, she gets an unbreakable weapon, which is a 5/2 weapon that basically whatever you hit will also hit the opponent's face. It's pretty funny. And Captain Galvangar, this big minion, if you get enough armor, it's a 9/9 charge, which can go face. You can copy it with your Faceless Manipulator, which is an epic card. Give it Wind Fury, and it's like an OTK deck. This is an actual combo deck given for free. You combo with To the Front. You play both of these and all those cards, and you can do massive damage. The Control Shell, really solid in here. Charge Warrior is a relatively valid deck on ladder, and you get that core aspect to it. If you're looking for that more aggressive warrior experience, like people love Pirate Warrior, you're really not going to be able to utilize almost any of this for that. So this is more for players that want to play longer games or get a combo win rather than playing like a mid-range or an aggressive deck. So yeah, those are the decks. I have to say the standouts for me, probably Paladin. Just getting Cariel is so unbelievably good. The Shaman deck, very solid. I think you can do very well with this. Just freezing the board and getting wins with Brukan can be incredibly powerful. And then of course, if you're looking for a fast strategy, a good strategy, you want to climb fast and win, Aggro Druid looks absolutely phenomenal, and you get some pretty good value as well with the card. So hopefully this helps you if you're looking to acquire a new free deck. And if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.